these bleeding heart liberals that seem to have more compassion for the criminals and the victims, which is very sad. But other than that, divisive. Other than that, wise. I just did a pop-up space with divisive recently. Other than that, last one is Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel got fired for apparently saying lies, but at the very least it was about Charlie Kirk and him passing, etc., etc. What do you think about all these leftists getting fired and crying now all of a sudden? Do you have any thoughts?
I do actually hear, so if you don't mind, I've got quite a lot of thoughts on this, and I'll touch on a couple of other of your questions as well. So obviously free speech is a balance, isn't it? You've got to have good and bad. You can't just have free speech where you're happy with it, and if you hear something you don't like, then you've got to allow for that. And I've been reading a book recently, which was recommended to me by the Gentlemen's Guild, called Why Nations Fail, which is one of the best books I listen to on audio as an audio book, and it's one of the best ones I've heard. And what it basically was saying is that you have extractive institutions and you have inclusive institutions, and it touched quite a lot on free speech and how the political and financial institutions allow or don't allow people to work or have freedom of expression and speech. And the obvious example is something like North Korea and South Korea, where at night time North Korea is in the dark and South Korea is lit up nice and bright. So one has electricity and one doesn't. So one's trying to help people work at night and have a nice comfortable living. So that's an obvious example. The reason why I make that example is that if you come up with an idea that people disagree with, but might actually benefit society, that's actually known as a destructive invention, a destructive technology. You could say that about AI, I guess. And if you so where this Kimmel guy, I've not actually heard what he said about Charlie Kirk. I don't really watch television apart from watching a film or a particular series, but he's probably said something not very nice about Charlie Kirk. I think there's a balance here. He's obviously employed by people that have decided to fire him, so that's up to them. But if they hadn't fired him for saying something bad about Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't have been offended by that, because maybe some people agree with him. We need to always listen to people that have got something that opposes what we think. So the reason I say about the extractive and inclusive societies, I think you need to keep freedom of speech to keep an inclusive society like the UK, like Australia, like America. So I'm a little bit on the fence. I'm not normally on the fence about stuff, but I'm not. I mean, maybe they sacked him because his show was doing crap. There might be, this is an excuse, we'll just get rid of the guy, he's not very good anymore, we'll get rid of the show. Or maybe it was so insulting that the people in charge thought, I like Charlie Kirk, it's awful. I do think that the other thing is, I think Charlie Kirk's death is one of the most emotive deaths I've seen online for a long time. For some reason, Charlie Kirk's death made me feel a lot sadder than many other sad deaths you see on television and hear about. And the reason was is I used to listen to Charlie Kirk probably every 2 or 3 days. Something would pop up, by the hour ago, and I'd watch it, or I'd purposely see what new Charlie Kirk presentation or debate. I used to love listening to him speak. And when I heard the news he'd been shot, I was like, oh no, not Charlie Kirk. So my reaction was one of emotion straight away. And I'm normally quite a stoic chap, but I was very sad about Charlie Kirk because he was sort of someone I listened to every week. I didn't agree with everything he said, but that in itself is why I like Charlie Kirk, because if someone wanted to debate with him, he'd happily debate. With any time you'd see him maybe raise his voice when someone was just calling him names, which is obviously ad hominem, and it's no good. So yeah, I think Charlie Kirk's a very emotive subject. I think it made a lot of people sad. But sacking someone just because they say something that you don't agree with, even though it's probably something that made him look like a right twat, I think you've got to be very careful with that, because you're moving towards how the left was under Obama. Keir Starmer in this country is probably one of the least liked politicians that have ever existed, and he's got some tough competition as well. Keir Starmer's doing a terrible job, but I've rambled on a bit there, but I hope that makes sense.
It definitely does. It's not an easy line to draw for sure. Jimmy Kimmel's a dickhead, and he wasn't doing not just the ratings, but I guess his companies, the ABC who owned them, their stock prices wasn't being done any favors by what he said. So I don't have a problem with it. The government should not get involved in the free speech of its citizens, right? Like, nobody in the government should contact the ABC and say, fire Jimmy Kim. Like, that should never happen. The government should absolutely not be getting involved in free speech, etc., etc. But of course, private companies have a right to fire who they want. And I mentioned this earlier, was that typically the right get cancelled for saying objective facts, empirical things which are demonstrable. Like, the men cannot become women. This is an objective fact. There are different IQ distributions of men and women, greater male variance. Men have a distribution of IQ, so there's going to be more higher. These kind of things is what conservatives get fired for. Of course, there's some exceptions, but generally that's the kind of thing. The Harvard University, not professor, the director, he got fired for just saying that, going after him. Whereas, people on the left, they get fined for celebrating the public execution of Charlie Kirk and then saying that I hope his children are next. So, these two things, in my opinion, are not comparable. One is obviously demonic, and the other is objective. People should not get fined for saying, objective facts that everybody knows anyway. Even these retards who go protesting on campus, they know men can't become women. But they're just engaged in ideologically, they're ideologically captured and they're engaging in virtue signaling. So I just say there's a major difference between those two things. And they're different in kind, in my opinion. A difference in kind, I should say.
I agree with you. I think what you get with some people is there's a complete lack of self-awareness. So I know that you mentioned that you were reading about narcissism, and it sort of touches on that, where they don't feel there's any need to develop or question anything they believe. They become very dogmatic in their views. And I think it sounds like Kimmel's got that way, that he probably felt he could say anything he wanted and he was safe. And he's probably been infected by the people around him as well. He's probably surrounded by an awful lot of yes people too, which is the case with successful people with money. And there's probably there was more leaning towards the right to say, if I was you, I wouldn't say that because it's stupid. And it's going to go down badly, as simple as that. I go back to some of my posts that hover around this with Occam's razor. Occam's razor is where the obvious reason is more often than the actual correct reason. I find a lot of politics these days, everything becomes really complicated. So a black guy stabs a white girl on a train and then says, I got the white bitch. And then black people then come on the television and say it wasn't racist. Well, it was racist because of what he said. And if you want to just put stuff around that makes it more complicated, that's entirely up to you. But I completely disagree with it. And I would say the same thing as if there was a white man that stabbed a black girl and said, I got the black bitch. I'd say that's racially motivated. It's incredibly obvious to me. So I do think we complicate, not us so much, I think the media and politicians complicate things that don't need to be complicated. I don't know what you think about that, Hitch.
Yeah, not just that, you shouldn't read anything in isolation. You should look at things in clusters. Aside, he targeted her, aside from what he said, there was 5 black people around him. I don't know for how long, right? But before the white girl got on the bus, he was sitting there surrounded by 5 black people. Why didn't he stab any of them? I'm not saying he should have, of course. But, bit of a coincidence. Minutes after she sits down, he stabs her. And it says, I got the white girl. Like, why didn't he stab? There's a perfectly good black woman to the right of him. There was another woman on the other side of him. And then there's 3 men. He could have stabbed any of them. Now, of course, again, I'm not saying he should have. We should not be doing stabbings, of course. But, if he really just was crazy, just wanted to stab people, he could have just stabbed any of them. But instead, I don't know how long she was sitting down for. It couldn't have been more than 30 seconds. within 30 seconds of sitting down, it was racially motivated. It's pretty obvious. So, but as these things go, I think there's an asymmetry in impugning people's motives. If if a white guy and a black guy get into a fight, they're immediately going to go, oh, the white guy, why was he in a fight with it's racist, blah blah blah. Whereas a black man stabs a white woman and says, I got the white girl, I think he said. Oh, well, we don't know. It could have been any. How do we even know? There's an asymmetry in attributing motives in a lot of these cases. It's very strange. That's not strange. We know why. It's because of Marxism's oppression hierarchy. If you're at the top, then you will get treated different than if you're at the bottom. You get special treatment. Under the oppressive dichotomy. But Wise, thanks for joining, brother. If you got anything else you want to add, please let me know. It's always a pleasure. Anytime you want to do a space, let me know. I always love hanging out with you, my friend.
I have got things to add, Hitch. I have.
Please.
So the conversation about John Wick and Jason Bourne. So obviously John Wick would win that. But what I've been thinking about is who maybe a little bit left field might be a good matchup. I don't know if you've seen Ben Affleck in The Accountant.
Yes.
So I thought that would be quite a good matchup. What do you think?
I think it would be between the three of them.
Yeah, oh no, Jason Bourne's gone. Jason Bourne,
okay.
I can't remember who he is. He's dead. And then John Wick and Ben Affleck's character, whose name escapes me. But I didn't like The Accountant 2, by the way. I actually switched it off. It'll become a buddy movie. But I thought the first film was very good. And he's emotionless and he's good in fighting and doesn't get emotional. I thought he'd be quite a good matchup. What do you think about that?
I think John Wick would handle him easily. I get why you're saying that, and it's a good match, especially the crossover universes. But I think John Wick would handle him easily. That would be my.
All right. Well, I'm going to panic and say, what about Thanos? Now, the other thing, the other thing I was going to mention about what would I die on a hill about? So this is directed towards men. If a man that I know is a friend of mine, this kind of touches on what you say about having a good friend that likes well done steak, which is an abomination. If I've got a mate that doesn't like any sport, there's always part of me that doesn't completely trust him. So what I mean, he doesn't like, you mentioned I don't watch football, I don't watch golf. If he doesn't watch any sport, I'm always as a friend thinking, I don't completely trust you because every man likes a sport, so there must be something slightly wrong. I'd die on a hill that there's something slightly wrong with that man.
Sounds a bit gay.
It does.
How can you not like any sports?
And my last point is
Listen, if people want to be gay, they can. I'm not disputing.
Yeah, but it is.
I'm just saying,
like sports.
It is kind of gay to not like any sports. This is a correlation.
100%. I use the term gay all the time.
I think it's actually gay. I think gay men typically are not into sports.
No, I think there's a guy at work that's gay because he supports Man United. And Marcus Rashford went to go to Barcelona, and Marcus Rashford scored a couple of goals for Barcelona. And he said, it's great to see Marcus Rashford scoring goals. So I said, why are you saying that? He's left your club to play for another club. And you're saying, well done. If a player of my club goes to another club and he starts scoring goals, I think he's a bastard for leaving us. And he said, no, I just want to do well. And my policy under that was gay. So I'm with you on that. And my last point on this is I never want the clocks to go back ever again. So it's spring forward and fall back. I'd rather it was darker in the morning and lighter late at night. I would 100% never want the clocks to go back ever again. And I say every time we get to wherever it's November, whatever it is, and the clocks go back, why do they do it? And then someone tells me a story about a milkman getting up in the morning. I mean, who has their milk delivered and they've got electric thing? I don't know, very strange. Postmen, people, kids going to school. Well, most kids are going to go to school about 8:30. If they're going to a school that starts at 8, that's an early start. So it's going to be pretty light. But what do they think is going to happen? Kids walking to school with all those people, our parents. I mean, it's not exactly a private affair, is it? The school run. So I would love the clocks to never go back again.
Me too. I get the idea for giving more sun. I don't get the idea for taking it away. So I totally agree. More sun, more, give me more. I would like if they just left it to have the most sun. Awesome. That would be my choice. Thank you, Wise. Follow Wise notifications on Fight Young Man, brilliant friend of mine. I love this guy. Always got something interesting to say. Thank you, Wise. Really appreciate it. I see some people requesting. I want to let you know we're not bringing up any new speakers. I'm sorry, we're closing the space. And anyone on stage who wants to talk, please raise your hand. We'll get through the hands. If you're on a laptop, I won't be able to see your hand. So either send me a private waving emoji or send me a DM to let me know you want to speak if you're on a laptop. Other than that, I want to welcome Rhoda to the space. Fine young woman, very good friend of mine, and also hosts excellent spaces, very supportive. Love her to death. Rhoda, welcome to the space, my dear. How's it going?
Hi, my darling. I always miss your spaces because of the time zones, but I wasn't going to miss this one. So I purely enjoy it.
Thank you. Welcome. Do you have anything you want to hit on first? Otherwise, I can hit you with a couple of questions.
Well, the free speech, it was Jimmy Kimmel wasn't fired because of the free speech. He was fired because he refused to apologize. That is a choice he made. They gave him a choice to issue an apology or he's going to lose his job. So the facts of the matter are that people need to take responsibility for what they say. And if it's not an accurate content, then sorry. That's not free speech.
Yeah, I didn't know they gave him a chance to apologize. That's very interesting.
Yeah, ABC issued a statement stating that they gave him a choice by issuing a formal apology, and instead he wrote a monologue trashing Charlie Kirk, and that's why he was fired. So the man made his choice. So I don't know why people are ruling uproar that we are suppressing free speech.
It was funny because all the people, defending, all the people attacking ABC for firing him, people were going through their posts, and almost all of them were happy when Roseanne got fired. They were happy when Gina Carano got fired, but not so happy when their mate gets fired. So there was a lot of those posts where they write, "Is this you? Is this you?" Yeah. There was loads of this. Is this you, bro? When they're making opposite arguments to what they made a year ago or 4 years ago. That was very, very funny.
Well, there is a line between the free speech and determination of violence. So when you are spewing conspiracy theories that have no backup, no no grounds for it, that is not free speech. Free speech is giving out to us to report truth. If people are not reporting truth, that is not free speech. You are basically pitting one side against another, and that is violence.
The government should never get involved. That's would be my first thing. It doesn't matter what he said. Unless you're calling for violence, the government should not be regulating speech. And private companies, private companies should be able to, at the very least, agree on the basics. The absolute basics, the fucking 70 IQ agreement. Doesn't matter. You don't need to be that smart. Do not go on TV and say, don't do a TikTok video dancing where you are celebrating the public murder and execution of someone for their political beliefs. And then also say, well, go and get his wife, go and get his kids. They should go too. They should be murdered too. What the fuck is wrong with people? At the very least, that's something basic everybody should be agree on. If someone's been murdered publicly, this is somewhat of a, sacred thing that you shouldn't, if you mock it, you're going to get in trouble. There's going to be consequences. So, again, I mentioned it earlier. The right get cancelled for speaking objective facts. Men cannot be women. Women have a different IQ distribution to men. These are all objective facts. They're empirical. The right gets cancelled for speaking objective facts, and the left gets cancelled for dancing on the grave of someone who got murdered, basically. So and being too stupid to realize that people would be upset. What kind of an echo chamber do you have to live in? Kind of a bubble do you have to live in where you think it's going to be okay that you're going to make videos laughing and singing and literally dancing in a fucking video. What is wrong with these people? So anyway, they got what they deserve. I'm not sorry. But I will just say, for me, the government should never get involved. So whatever they've done, dancing like idiots, it should be up to the employers. It should be up to society. The government should not get involved in, doing anything around speech. The government should stay out of it. That's why you have the
each employer has the social media clause. I know in the United States, most of the employers have them. Everybody have to sign it, and everybody have to adhere to that particular clause. And when you are on the social media, you represent whoever you work for, because if you're posting where you work for, that's what you're going to be. So people are stupid if they don't read their clause. That's the problem. That's the first thing. Second of all, I'm very disappointed in the amount of teachers, professors, and any educators that were openly celebrating somebody's death, and also doctors and nurses. That was very, very interesting to me, because I did, me in statistics, so I went in and I did the AI search of how many people were educators and how many people were doctors and nurses, and it was almost 72%. 72%. That is not normal. I'm sorry. Those people need to be more cautious of what they do. I don't give a crap about the free speech, because this is like a morality issue to me, Hitch. They're teaching our children, and they're also making, they're taking care of our parents and our children in the hospitals. That is not normal.
Yeah, when you're in a position of power, like a lawyer or a teacher or a doctor, you have real abilities and powers to affect people's life and their life courses. So I don't think someone who makes a TikTok video celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and railing on conservatives, if you're a surgeon, I don't think you can be trusted. In my opinion, you can't both hate conservatives and then claim that you're going to take good care of them. You can't be happy one was killed, with death upon arrest, and also be trusted to deliver. So, if the ones who are in a position of power, safety issue, in my opinion.
Well, that's what statistically tells you who's indoctrinated and who's indoctrinating our children. So that's the problem. You don't look at the number, just amount of people. You look at the number of who they will affect, and it's becoming more and more scary to me.
It's the filthy communists. They're always causing problems. Everything.
Yeah, they need to go for toilet paper instead of educating our children. Seriously, they need to start standing in line for the toilet paper. That will be the best thing for them to do. Honestly.
Yes.
If they want communism, they can get it, Hitch.
Fact check true, I completely agree. Now, do you know John Wick and Jason Bourne? Have you heard of these two actors or characters?
John Wick, no, Jason Bourne, series.
Oh yes. If you don't know John Wick, that's probably not going to work. So let me go on to one more. I was talking before about public floggings. If you commit a crime, it should be a violent crime. I don't just mean any crime. Let's say a home invasion with a machete, and then you stab the people who live there. In my opinion, on top of whatever jail sentence, you should get a public flogging. I think this would act as a deterrent. What do you reckon?
I truly believe Hitch and the punishment fix the crime. So in the middle days, you get raped. So to me,
International 701. Yep.
Because if you are going to inflict harm on others,
We'll be in 20 minutes.
Harm you instead of putting yourself. I'm not sure it's going to be useful to anybody else.
Well, I'd like to see some stats. I haven't looked into it, but I'm for it, if I'm being honest. If you do a home invasion with the city, that's not the lead. I think we don't. But that's just me. But I go in.
Public execution. Logging is not enough.
Oh, okay, you got a public institution. I actually
Absolutely, yeah. Logging is not enough. Public execution. That's you know, because if you have an excuse that you killed somebody, there is no appeal. No appeal.
yeah,
Go downstairs and get killed. Bye.
if you commit a murder, I also don't have any problem with capital punishment for public purpose. If there is no doubt, you know, and there's video footage, etc., then there could be no doubt, then yeah, no crime. I wrote in anything else you want to add, my dear. I would encourage people to follow you, go to your space. You host the space. I think you got the hub chat, is it called? Otherwise, let us know where can people find you.
At our jewelry center, so I can't do it. So I have to put myself in there again. So, but other than that, I just do the show.
Well, I want to encourage people to follow you, go to your spaces, and invite you to speak on this. You're a fine young lady, rodent, and always appreciate it. So thanks so much.
And for those of you who don't know, Page has a subscription open, and you can use gives you a lot of insight. Not to that's like that's inside I give and EQ. I know that EQ is a very real age, and I understand. Love it.
Rhoda loves to upset me. EQ is fake. Do not believe in EQ. That's fake. But thank you, Roden. Appreciate you joining. As always, great to have you. Again, I see some people requesting. I'm sorry, I'm not taking requests. We're going to get through the last few hands and then we're closing the space. Now, I see we got Miss Lou and Miss Lou, Stephanie, and Lori. And then we're checking with Jabo, Julian, and yeah, with Jabo, Julian, and Miss Lou. Let's do this. Go.
I was just telling you that the couple of Australia was thinking about steak knife buybacks.
No,
We were talking about gun control. And I said to him, we're going to have steak knife buybacks. Yeah, well, we're talking about free speech. Where does free speech end? My point is, when does it end? Boy, we've got to be real critical what's going on right now. So anyway, I don't want to get into it too. I do want to tell everybody, because you know how I love movies. Many of you may know the 17th obviously his father was killed. I just saw the guy his mom. It's never and I just assumed It's never everybody said he died of drugs. He's not true. He walked down into, like I said, to eventually maybe it was New Market, because I knew he also lived in Memphis. And had his clothes on, and he walked out. And somehow when they were dredging this area, he got a deep island. He's got his clothes on. I don't know. It really wasn't suicide. His clothes masters say it wasn't suicide. And another was he walked out and got caught. And they took his body and they said he only had one period. So he did not die of drugs. I just think it's there, you know, his father died. Anyway, enough rambling. Did you guys know many times? Yes. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh, and you know, I and I went back and listened to the song because I'm thinking it's a joke. I started listening. To the lyrics and I'm like, oh my God. Yes. So, that song is probably what don't song any of the parts. Well, thank you for the mic hit of all of you.
Go ahead. Jeff Buckley, I'm a big fan. I've been the Harbour Bridge, and you can tell someone's a good singer because the live was better than the album. And Jeff Buckley's good at live. I get this one oh, I gotta check that out. That's another reason to see the movie. I was like, go to check it out. Big fan, understanding that. Jim Brown, he was a bit of an obsession, I just don't just like I don't know if that's amazing, but yeah, it's that particular yeah, definitely. I agree. That's a great song, and it doesn't know what something like that you can find on and that's what they said. And they said, he loved me to small. He loved that sort of heavy and came together with him. And then in front of him, as they were meeting, Jeff brings out Indian speaking Indian. He's an insane smart for the middle guys like probably in my estimation the best voices. So it reminds me a little bit of Jeff. Yeah, and a little bit about Dylan. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely check that out before. Thank you. That's excellent. Yeah, check out the next Symphony of Metallica and taking it to the incident. I'm having the urge to do the same thing. This place is done with tomorrow. It's going to be motivation, but yeah. And every time I get to see Vegas, there's maybe like two. I have to give everything else. Now, fucking honest to just like get on stage and sing it and stay away from it. Like, get on stage, go back to your apparently a bad basketball player.
brought a lot of attention to just what, in my opinion, was gotten out of control is the normalization of violence. Free speech is free speech. You can say what you want, but but I don't know with mine is line is crossed depending on the situation, but I also don't have all the answers. But when you see people like Maxine Waters, she is a public official. She's up on TV saying, burn it down, burn it down. To me, that's inciting violence. Now, can she be held responsible? I don't know. But when you look at it like he was more of a slow death as far as cancel culture. Roseanne, she was a quick death. They got rid of her almost immediately. There's email Scott Baio shoot from years ago when he had the same thing happen. It was like immediate cancel culture. So Jimmy Kimmel finally got coming over time, and society finally just stopped watching him. But people who are in roles of authority, like teachers, doctors, the normalization of people thinking that it's okay not having the decorum to speak like that, and celebrate the of what you really it's a degradation of either people's self-awareness or whatever. It's the same thing. It's all different voices that I think over time that makes people like this shooter get more emboldened, and also think that he's a victim in some kind of way and that he has a right because he hears all these voices in his head saying, burn it down, all these people are Nazis. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it.
There's definitely been a move to normalise violence, especially on the left, and violence is really the right line. So completely agree. There's never any excuse to advocate violence. And again, I mentioned earlier, the right gets cancelled for saying objective facts and men can't become women and things of a similar nature. And the left's getting cancelled for celebrating and literally dancing at the public execution of someone for their political views. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, completely agree with that. Is there anything else you want to add, Bonnie, before we move on?
No, thank you for having these spaces, and I'm sorry I'm joined so late, and I always want to say something right when you're saying, we're going to be winding down, but I've learned that when you say that, you're really saying, I will be here for 4 hours. I'm going to bring up topics that start like a whole new thread of conversation, so I don't feel so bad. But eventually on Saturday, I'll also speak earlier. But thank you. I adore you.
You too, Seth. And thanks so much for joining. Of course, if you joined early, that's what I feel. But if not, anytime we can get you on to get a few words, it's always worth that. So, no worries. We'd love to have you. And now we are closing out. Again, I want to go to Laurie. Then I'm going to say hi to Jamo. Did we lose Julian? Maybe lost Julian. So I'm going to go. Everybody's jumping around the screen. I'm going to go Laurie and then Jamo and then Uncle Al. There you go. So we're going to go Laurie and Jamo. Let's go. Stay tuned after this space. We're going to have a subscriber space. If you do want to subscribe, $3 a month is subscribe. I got the button. And you can also subscribe on the web. So now let's go Laurie. Laurie, welcome to the space podcast. Let's go.
Hello, darling. It's so good to see you again. Former commenters took some of my points. I wanted to talk about Jimmy Kimmel because I have very strong thoughts about this regarding the title of the space, free speech. Roden brought up how Jimmy Kimmel was asked to apologize and he absolutely refused, and he instead wanted to double down on his comments. And somebody mentioned the phrase, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I tend to agree with both of those. So I'd like to focus the rest of my comments on the soft power of government and burning cars of the FCC's comments. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people more upset about Kimmel getting suspended. He didn't get fired, by the way, he got suspended. And to those people, they're more upset about Kimmel getting taken off the air than they are about somebody dying. And if you're one of those people, my question to you is, what is wrong with you?
To get back to Carr, he did come out and speak strongly. But if this may have been mentioned before, forgive me if it was, Nexstar, which was the group of affiliate stations that started squawking about Jimmy Kimmel's comments, which in retrospect were not as egregious as some of the teachers and educators and health care professionals that were dancing and celebrating. What he basically said, what Brendan Carr said was, hey, we're going to have to take a look at this. If you or ABC have a public license, an FCC license, and you are getting the benefit of taxpayer resources to broadcast over the air for free, those rules are different. You have a higher responsibility to tell the actual truth. What Kimmel suggested, and at the time everything was kind of in flux and the fog of what was happening afterwards, he suggested that Charlie Kirk's, as the person that assassinated Charlie Kirk, was possibly or probably affiliated with MAGA. At that point, there was a lot of information that was coming out where that wasn't true. In the background, we have Nexstar applying to the FCC for a merger with Techno, and that needs FCC approval. So from Brendan Carr's lens, this group, this media group, is already before his agency asking for a waiver or an exception to rules that say you cannot own television stations that go beyond 39% of the market without special approval. And in the meantime, you've got Kimmel on ABC saying things that, quote unquote, broke the camel's back. Imagine if we had gone back 10 years and we had applied that same level of scrutiny to all of the FCC licensed broadcast stations where they were saying men can become women. We knew that wasn't true, but nothing happened to them. So the cry seems to be, oh, well, we're just going to start enforcing rules now. And we weren't doing that before. And that's unfair. And to that point, I think it's fine. I think what Brendan Carr said was fine. I think that he made an excellent point. The rules are different when you're on an FCC broadcast license. And I would just like to also point out, ABC didn't have to suspend his show. All they had to do was move it to a cable network and put it on 3 a.m. Right? There's no evidence that Kim's not getting paid during this indefinite suspension. And if he's going to be recalcitrant and refuse to apologize and double down on the comments, the very comments that got him in trouble in the first place, I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. Now, I'm sure he's a kind of decent man, as many others have pointed out that perhaps he is. I'm not passing judgment on his character. I'm passing judgment on his comments. Now, to the point that there are educators that are celebrating, and it's disgusting, and I have a lot more words about that. I would like to draw your attention, in case you didn't know about it. There was a school in the state of Maine, small town, Lincoln, Maine, and there were 2 teachers that were doing that very same thing. They were pointing out what Kim said, and they were celebrating the death. They were making terrible comments about children, saying it's go beyond that, what the saying. The children in that school district used their phone, texted their parents, and said, we don't want to be in the stomach room. And the teachers were still Charlie, come pick me up. And so many parents called into the school and said, we're going to talk about that. We're not happy with the teachers. That school actually locked down. And so the threat came from the parents that wanted to have their children taken out of the classroom. They locked down. The police department investigated what's going on here. The town's in an uproar. All these parents want to take their kids out of school because of the comments that 2 of these teachers were making. Determined that there wasn't a threat, and the police department was not going to intervene. But this is the level of vitriol that this country is dealing with. That's just one example. That's the most egregious example. When a public school takes your kids in America, we are compelled to send your kid to public school. And they will not let you come pick your kid up because they want to take your kid hostage and leave them in a classroom where the teachers are celebrating political violence to the point where the police have to get involved. And and by the way, 2 days ago there was a public meeting that went south, that went very bad. I just think that we have a much bigger problem in this country than Brendan Carr coming on Benny Johnson's show and saying, hey, if you want an exception to these FCC rules, maybe we're going to take a hard look at that. Maybe people who are getting taxpayer funded are going to have to be held to the higher standard that always existed but was never previously.
Definitely agree with you about educators. This Marxist indoctrination that's going on in schools is wild, and the teachers think that, that's what they're doing. They think that it's okay. How the fuck can you be a teacher and think that it's okay to subsidize? Yeah, it's so wild.
It's okay because these FCC rules were never enforced before.
Yeah, you think
so. I don't need to get
I'm
about this subject very much.
No, so it should be. It's wild that they thought they could do that and everything would be fine. Everyone didn't know anything about rules and regulations. I'd have enough brains to know someone's been killed. It's probably not a good idea to celebrate. Even to some degree, if a murderer gets killed, in secret, we're celebrating the life. I mean, there was a murderer who's dead now. So, yeah, everyone know that. Or someone who's died from the so, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. And,
thank you. I know you're pretty close. I don't have anything to I know about Jason Palmer, but back. And I know you're trying to close, but I did just want to throw it back to stay with education after to students. I appreciate the time. To not force education and
So then I did a subspace with just a few people. The Tom was in there, the engineer, Teague, Shadow Governor, Flow State Chaser was down there. We ended up staying in that subspace. 4 a.m. Cali time. That's pretty cool. You get to meet there. You get to know each other. me, go ahead. Not, me, but yeah. So I'll give you I'll let you come back at that and we can address the number one question that we were talking about this week was support. And also, I put down there in the purple pill that the hill I will die on is 8-bit chat again. But I want the world's voice, they thought it was leave. Rest in peace. Hate rest in peace, rest in peace to the good lot. Phantom so big, can't even fit in the box spot. You ain't talking. So I got it now, back when I deserve fuck it. I'm about to go in the bit. Come on, I'm finished. They reach out to me, when they're working on something, they feel comfortable doing so because they know, like, we're very like-minded in that way. And honestly, like, I can scroll down here and I see a bunch of builders in this chat right now. And maybe they're actively involved in Web3, maybe they're not, maybe they used to be. But honestly, the best people in this chat, as I look down here, are the people that are building, the people that are supporting the builders as well. And yeah, man, like context, guys, if you know, so great. That encourages us to go. There's no royalty, there's no exit. I feel like I think that there was like really expertise. That was it. And it's because it adds up over time. Like if you look at Shiba's, we've done 3,000 Ethereum in volume. We've had like 80-70% of that was during the time when royalties were not enforced. So people have not paid royalties on over 2,000 Ethereum volume on our collection. And 2%, you'd be a massive difference for the projects, and especially going forward. It's going forward, building out a good brand. As much as that is going to bring in money, you're going to need something to fall back on just in case. But I'm very confident in it. So we need to have these layers, right? We don't want it to be multiple sources of income.
my mind, is the right way to go. You know, so staking, like staking is one. You know, obviously we've got the pet business. We want to get some sort of royalties going, and then also, you know, not a charge meant for holders. I want to make it very, 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 very clear. But down the line, guys, people who have been buying up Shebas all this time, let me tell you what hurts my heart is that people that have been buying up Shebas all this time don't have antidotes. I know people that have 50 Shebas and they've got 4 antidotes because people don't want to release those antidotes. And if they do, it's not cheap. They want full price for them. People are more reluctant to get rid of an antidote than they are a Sheba because they know that that supply is so small.
I feel like
It's
you talk
crazy.
about me. I feel like you talk about me. Man.
Right.
Yeah,
The people who bought their phone. So my thing is that like those we're gonna burn through those fast, especially if there's DJ activity and all of that. So to all of
can I say
you
one thing? I think we should just I think that might be obvious.
please.
Yeah, so one of the it's like one of the best things is that that's the knowledge teams to select position that's you know, the things, and so on. And it just makes sense if you think about the other side, for example, on either box this is something that I've been ready for a while, and then seemed to make whoever this motion kind of a great make all these lessons, but you know, I built a lot of scripts, and I was fortunate to build these scripts and so on, to do the generations and all that kind of stuff. And now files in your neighborhood, so now I'm in like the final testing phase before I go to submit this thing. The partner prerequisite for submitting it is actually having the metadata be updated to have the files. And like throughout this entire, and the good thing is I'm taking contract work as well for the pops, right? So that'll allow me to do that as well. But working directly with the team in the back end, working, you know, I've been getting I should be having it now, but honestly, I gotta follow up with DM. But I will be having ODK actually soon. And I'm not gonna give it with an idea. I'm saying this that much, so that's really good. But just through this experience, like onboarding dictionaries into the other side. One of the goals for MSC initially was to get, you know, 3D shipments and get those into the other side as well. But through this experience, you know, that's not something that we want this time as a potential, you know, entrant as well. I know in the earliest days, way before Rita was known as the Rita, you know, behind G's, he did a couple boxes for MSC. And I'm sure he still has those in the file somewhere, which by the way, Rick, I will DM him about it. I was just thinking about that today and sending everything. But
the only one who doesn't know about this.
Yeah. So he did some boxes, and you should notice that if you look at the website, and you look at the visual section, that I wasn't scroll down, you'll see some I mean, those 3 bottles were made by Rita, right? And so they never, you know, I don't know what happened with them, but really know, but I built a really strong relationship with Rita, and I want to see what we can do to get those assets from her. I'm gonna call us and all that stuff, we'll figure it out. But these guys, like when he got inside the studio, through the Bottling Studio, and to say like we can work with them to get the Shebas like modeled and rigged and ready for work. You know, the other side, that's not, you know, and whatever work with him, you know, I won't put it on his the conversation. But I also do the rigging and all the other stuff too. So again, it's not to say that it'll happen right away, but this is definitely something that I know was kind of already queued up as something that she and the community wanted for this project. And just because you see the other opportunities and ventures that we need, it doesn't mean that we won't take advantage of the assets we already have required to make that reality, especially now that other sides start to onboard other communities. So yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited about box piles being a I'm excited about some box cities, I'm excited about MSC potentially get in there and figure all that behind the scenes. But that great, I can tell you, didn't know we did those puffs.
Nah, bro. You know that I thought, bro, I was never told. I honestly, my impression was that you had made those models because I didn't know where they came from.
Right. Okay. So transparency, guys. I, in my earliest days of my degree, was less of a builder, more of a teacher, artist, supporter of projects and communities that I like found myself interested in. And so I would do things like, bring or model, the assets and stuff in 3D, break them, do AR filters and all these other things, right? If you look down at like my media page on my actual backs, you would find like this full body Shiba that I like modeled, rigged, made an AR filter of, and just kind of created a couple videos. And I guess that's why Rick probably thought I was the one behind those models. So, but those models were done by Rita and his team, and I will need to figure out if one, he still has them, two, if he would be willing to work on by the way, he was working at just to make sure you guys don't know those are like the water ones and the missing collection, right? So the ones that they worked on initially was Bell. So I don't know what kind of discussion they had about the rest of the collection and pricing. We'll figure that out behind closed doors, but ultimately it's crazy to think how all this time when that team is out, where Big Chain is in Radio Eddings, where he is in charge of Big Chain. I've been since the earliest days of Big Chain, and I am where I am, and we're able to establish these relationships organically in order to kind of make this opportunity a reality. Right? So yeah, again, I do think that might be something we can take advantage of. And again, even if these services are not what we don't like that, I'm happy to work with this. I got a couple of days and I'm delivering up some files outside of shows. But once those things are out, yes, those things are out the door, then I'll be free up to work on some models. So like if that is the route we gotta take, we'll figure that part out. But you hear the first, bro, like, yeah, if you didn't know, that definitely did have those models on the page, on the website. Definitely was from Rita. And we'll see if it's still had. I'll be curious if he does get this 2022. Like it would be somewhere, it's like the native culture. No, maybe a whole laptop or some shit.
I can't believe, Nana said to me a while back, he was like, oh yeah, that Rita had worked with MSC, and I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, no way. And he was like, yeah, bro, he made 3D models. But look, let me say this. I think a shortcut, not a shortcut, I don't want to call it a shortcut, but a stepping stone to that would be getting jacks. And us, like how Basie used Curtis for a while, we could use jacks for a while, right, just to give us access while that's being built out. But just know that, of course, we've got coders, we've got other needs. So that is a big side of obviously what we can lean into once this steps out. So, man, the future's looking bright. I'm just happy that we're rebuilding this community, brick by brick. Another thing that I wanted to say is that, obviously 2.0 goats, we can't speak too much about it yet, but that is an inevitable. It's like, if you look at it over a timeline of a year, surely, they're gone. So people that have been stacking their bags all this time, just know that, we see, you know what I mean? So, the original people who stacked their bags and got a whole bunch of goats dropped to them, but then sold, whatever, you guys have bought back their bags and, maybe you haven't had the access to the antidotes because they've just left them in some dead wallet. So, so I think that, once we see where we at after 1 month, 2 months of burning goats, that door starts to open up a bit more to the people that.
They're not doing shit. Simple as that. If you're not talking about them, they're not doing shit. Now they're talking about us, and now it's time to capitalize, bro. And that's why this week, bro, when they rage, we are going to rage on the memes. We are going to rage on how to create a community that literally knows how to fucking, story tell and also market, guerrilla market this meme out to the masses. Because right now, y'all, a lot of people, there's different sides of the trend. I think we have around 2,000 followers. That is nothing to compare to the fucking over a decade that this meme has been out and the fucking hundreds of millions of views that this meme has gotten. Under fucking 5K is nothing. It's nothing. So we only are part of the church that see our work so now it's time to work and show the other sides, bro. Show the other communities what we're doing here, what we're building, how we're going to bridge and support. A lot of these communities know these too, bro. I have supported so many communities throughout my career, journey and shit like that. And I know that these my brothers and sisters and these different people are gonna reciprocate the favor. And they're gonna come and they're gonna fucking help us fucking push this shit to the next level. And I'm telling you, the way they're gonna do that, and I talk to people that I just know is through the art. It's through the art and through the meme. Because right now, y'all, I clouded that whole community with the attention of all they can think about is us. So now that all they can think about is us and they want to bring all the attention to us, now is our time to bring the attention to this historical OG fucking meme. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And bro, that's literally how I'm thinking. And if I'm crazy, y'all, you can tell me in the chat if I'm crazy, but I think this route is the way to go. I'm still gonna fucking cook these motherfuckers when I have to. But right now, let them rage while we fucking work. We're gonna rage on our work and get this shit done, bros. Like G shit, we're gonna get this fucking shit done. They can talk about me all day. Like I said, y'all, they don't got shit on me. That's the funniest part. I got receipts on everyone. Like I said too, if you're new in here, I already posted what I need to post about these people. I don't need to. They had their day of Hollywood on my time. Their day of Hollywood has ended. Okay, if you want to participate in that brain rot, participate in it. No problem. The real ones here are going to continue working and showcasing this fucking OG meme. And when we come up fucking legends, y'all, we come out of this legends, laugh at the motherfuckers that literally doubted us, bro. Laugh at them. Because all it took, man, all it really took was a group of people who wanted to stand on truth, man. And we're sick and tired of seeing people get taken advantage of, man. And literally, that's where the rage really comes from the people. And that's where I feel like we're gonna put that into the art. And as I'm talking to the artists and stuff like that, I was telling them that maybe they should, because whatever artists we decide. Sorry about that. Someone's calling me. Let me get this. Whatever artists, because I want it to be multiple artists. Whatever artists we bring on, like I want them to create within our TG and create within our community. Have our community give advice on what they should add, what other meme token project they should add, and we start setting up spaces where we're collabing with these different types of meme tokens. You know what I'm saying? Having good dialogue, talking about memes. Talking about the shit that's actually important and stuff like that. And bros, I'm saying that's what's gonna make us different now. Because right now, all they can talk about is us, y'all. So what are we gonna do when all they can talk about is us? We are gonna talk about the fucking meme that we love and we think can fucking reach the masses and go completely fucking parabolic, bro. That's the way to go. But let's go to board. I'm off my fucking speech box, but I hope y'all took that and y'all received it because that is literally the goal. So let's go, work.
What's up, man? Hey, jumped out a minute on someone's birthday party, just got the guns, but this isn't just a rage versus rage. This is a community. Who's got the best community? And if anybody's out there that wants to play Call of Duty, stream some games, I'm down. We're gonna make people rage. We're gonna show the rage. Spread it through political Twitter. All over X, people streaming. When you wreck them in a game,
just stand over him and say, listen, bud, you should have raged harder. You might have would have lived. But I just want to say, we're evolving. This isn't, you know, who did what now. It's who's a better community. Because, you know, you can't, we showed them. We showed them what's going on. They don't want to listen. They want to play the community war. And regardless of what happens, we're going to come out on top. So, just like Jules said, rage is politics, family events, gaming, X, polo. So, I'm going to get back to my son's birthday, but you guys keep raging on. And, shoot me a DM if you want to hop into it. Or so you're going to
It's crazy, bro. Dude, I used to stream so much. I'm gonna open up a stream too, get the fucking get the ticker in there, get the meme and stuff like that. Cause the stream is honestly, fuck it, bros. Starting Monday, bros, we're gonna have a stream once a night, man. I'm gonna just and it's gonna be about everything. It's not gonna be just about the memes, we'll talk about the market and shit like that. Like I used to stream a lot, and honestly, that shit used to get hella views. So if I can do that and help push it out to the masses as well, fuck it. Let's start streaming. Because guess what? These fucking ugly fucks are not gonna get behind the camera. I'll tell you that. But me, I get behind the camera. I love getting behind the camera. So, listen, y'all. This is the route, man. And I just thought about it. That's one way we can fucking do like the art together and stuff like that with the artists. I can just bring them on stream, have you guys in the chat. Bros, I'm telling you, my mind is literally thinking of ways to build now instead of ways to destroy. Like obviously I still have that destroy it's like what's that saying about being a warrior in a garden? Like now I'm already like we're all warriors, but now we're walking into our garden. Now we defeated these people so bad that now all they can do is talk about us. So now when they talk about us, they bring the attention to us. We're bringing people to our garden, which is the fucking memes, bro. And that is the I'm telling you, that is the fucking way, man. I literally had an epiphany, and I was like, how do I hit this differently instead of the way I want to right now? Because you know the first instinct you have usually isn't the best. You have to sit there and take a second, and this right here, bro. This is the way. So the streams are gonna start. TikTok streams, regular streams. Next week is fucking complete bad work. Complete get to the fucking work time, yo. Rage the fuck out. Everyone else, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously I know you guys like when I go crazy. And there's gonna be moments, right? But I'm telling you right now, 50% of moving forward, we are literally focusing on making this a project that is looked at as worthy of being in the top. We have the ability here, we have the resources, we have the OGs to turn this into an OG meme coin. We have those resources. So if we utilize all of them and we do it correctly, man, we will fucking win. We will win, bro. And I'm telling you, a lot of people got scared today. They let people get to their emotions. I'm telling y'all right now, that is not how you're gonna win. That's not how you're gonna win. You know what the real ones were? The bros that hit me up and said, yo, Andrew, should I host a space? Yo, Andrew, do you like this meme? Should we put out this post? Should we do this? Those are the real fucking trenchers that know what's up, that know how to fucking work for their bag. And those are the people that deserve to be the foundation of an OG meme coin like this. You have to understand, y'all, it takes a lot of responsibility to be the foundation of an OG meme like this. It takes a lot of responsibility because those people that are building, they need to have enough conviction to hold it. They need to have enough belief to have faith in it. And they need to work enough to the point that it's their baby now, and they're not willing to fuck it up for nobody. And that's the foundation we're building, y'all. And it makes me bullish, bro. I'm telling you, I'm really bullish that I can't even rage out, y'all. Like I'm just like so locked into what our mission is and what we need to do. And we're gonna just start getting more organized, bro. Let them talk now. Now we let them talk. I did enough talking. I did enough exposing. I put it on my timeline. Let them expose themselves now. Now is the time to onboard people. I know the best way to onboard people, y'all, is talking about this meme and talking in a manner that a lot more people feel comfortable coming up and expressing how they feel about the meme as well. So we'll go to full. I'm gonna be ready. Let's go.
Yo, shit, I'm just surprised that it's like, yo,
people are so upset. They're throwing tantrums everywhere, and there is so much. Like Andrew said, man, this meme, it's not like it's just one phase too. Like I've been diving a little bit into it, but there is so much more that we can do, and you just gotta open your mind and don't get caught up in the negative, or don't get caught up in the old market cap and this is happening, that is like there is no chart. Once again, right? We're not worried about a chart right now. Right now, gathering, we're making the sickest community, and everyone that dropped the torch, there's gonna be stronger hands, better people picking up that torch, getting on the timeline and sharing doper shit. You know what I mean? So this is just the start of something. Like beautiful things, man, it takes time to grow, to flourish, to get this shit really off of ground, zero, off of the foundation. This is still the foundation. This is still just the beginning. You know what I mean? So get out there, talk to your friends, talk to some other people, search some of the, there's videos, there's so much information, so many memes, bro. Just go out there and have some fucking fun with it. Like he said, we already pretty much tombstone these motherfuckers. They're 6 feet under right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. That shit's done. Bury the fucking hatchet. We're on to better things, eh?
Hatchet is literally buried. Honestly, what I do? I wish the best for those people. I hope, honestly, one day that they are able to build something. They're able to be pure-hearted. They're able to actually make it out the trench, because they'll act different. I promise you, they'll be acting a lot different. They'll act a lot more, humble, and maybe their creative spirit will come out, and they'll actually do something that's beneficial to the space. So I honestly wish them the best, y'all.
Hey,
no matter what, I wish them the best.
I was gonna say, some of you guys too. You guys are saying such great shit, inspirational shit, and honestly, high IQ shit. I wish this shit was recorded. Right, too. You had some great points, bro. Like people, I don't know if you heard everything, but listen in, tune into this shit, man. No one's trying to steer you the wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at what's going on here. Like, this is a fucking movement. There's not one person, and there's people from all over different shit jumping and be like, yo, I see emotion, I see certain shit, I see people, like mind shit. I see, bro, like there's a lot more than you realize in this bitch, right? So I'm just saying, and this is what, 8, 13, 14, Andrew? You know what I'm saying? Like
13, yeah.
Let's go. Let's just keep going. I better cut you off. Keep going, bro.
Nah, you're good. Nah, bro, you're good. Call me out, bro, 'cause I fucking rant like crazy. But yo, he's exactly right, yo. And dude, I'm telling you, I feel very clear-minded. And I had so much rage in me. Y'all heard of this last 13 days? And I feel like, I don't know. Like I told you, that epiphany I had literally just told me, like, focus fully on the art. Go deep dive into the art. Like, bros, if y'all know me, I love creating memes. I've created some of the memes that people use to this day and don't even know. Like, literally, I'm not no artist. I'm a little crop out person, but I've created some dope ass memes, and that's why I want to go back into, because that's what makes me flow now. And I thank these people because they broke me out. They broke me out, and now I can use my rage instead of fucking completely cooking them like I already have. I can use that rage towards creativity. So let's go to Gal, and then we'll go to Rick. Let's get Gal.
Hey, what's up, Andrew? I just wanted to say something. I don't know if it was tax. They were speculating that it was tax. Dumping the chart not long ago.
Nah,
but all they're doing is adding, we were double topped, like somebody was saying earlier. It needed to happen for distribution. But if they want to take credit for it, all they're doing is adding to our core, because they're calling us the vamp, but yet they're out there trying to dump our chart. They're just making us want to go that much harder. So I thank them for that. Take all the credit you want for that.
We appreciate the entry, y'all. We appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for literally giving us that entry while also exposing our community to new eyes, y'all. Like, I love that. You understand, yo? That is key. Let's go to B-Rad. My bad. I love B-Rad. I'll B-Rad. Don't go to Rad. My bad, B-Rad.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, I'm so excited for the new direction here, putting all that shit behind us. Need to happen. We were actually talking about this morning really early. Myself in the UK. I lived in 4chan. I was in college during 4chan, and I lived that time when everything was going crazy. Where Anonymous spawned through there. That's part of my culture. And I had some interactions with a couple of you guys before I entered the community. I was in the other coin. It's all run up, and I was I was in their chats, and I'm going, what is this? Like, this isn't 4chan. Like, we needed to get back to this meme. And just to drop a little bit of history on it, the one thing that made me switch is when they started talking about t-shirts and merch and all this shit. And I'm going, man, these guys really do not know the history of this meme. Because one of the big things that brought this meme into light, right, when Hot Topic, I don't know if you guys even know Hot Topic, I'm old as fuck, right? Hot Topic dropped a Rage Guy shirt, and no, and they're so anti-corporation in 4chan, right? They drop a Rage Guy shirt. So the 4chan members all got together and changed Rage Guy into a racist meme in 4chan. So that way they could purposely go and troll Hot Topic saying that they dropped a racist t-shirt. That's what this fucking meme is about. They're memeing, you know? They do that shit because they can, you know? And whoever had the greatest fucking meme was fucking Meme Lord. We gotta all become fucking meme lords, and that's where our art needs to go, and not fucking slap fucking Rage Guy on a Grand Theft Auto cookie cutter bullshit that we've seen a million times with all these fucking tokens that are just fucking designed for other people to fucking pump and dump. This meme is fucking sacred to my generation and my culture growing up when the internet was just spawning. We used to knock door to door to get those fucking AOL CDs. You know, we got to embrace this meme. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to reach out.
That was dope, great, bro. That was poetic rage right there, and I appreciate it because you're coming up here and telling people about the history of the meme and stuff like that. Let them know, like, all the cookie cutter shit, bro. For real, like, forget this little AI fucking Rage Guy meme, bro. Let's get real artists behind this shit and really
Morning.
That has and they feel like the raised by the community, like something better comes out of it, yo. Like something like there's an energy that is really talking about that, and that's the thing that breaks through the sense message. So it's gonna wreck.
No hay que. Three domestic.
Yes, please.
Will be there in less than half an hour.
No problem.
There's probably one there. She was talking about how much you needed to get a house.
Yeah.
But then she wasn't going to live in it. Oh, wow.
Makes sense.
Like, you can't rent
No.
But then she was saying, we can rent it.
So
Yeah. Well, it's, she asked what we were paying for a month. It's paying doesn't make sense.
I don't crazy great. remember that side of state close to wait.
Nah, it's not me. Yeah. Pretty much. Good question.
Well, 2 hours. Mhm.
share this around and go, listen, obviously not everyone could be the same police. You know, there's gonna be like half work that we came to come and talk on the day.
dinner night. Let's speak about that a little bit.
Here we are. Two.
Just ripped away, like, and the phone rings or something like that. Alright, I better. I was gonna about that pull on if you're gonna come up and say hi. Hi. How dare you to pull on?
There he is. Can't tell if you're white or black, but it doesn't matter, does it? Let's go, Square Bear. What's up? I don't know what happened in the not about. Hey, son, what are you doing? You got pulled over today by a police officer? Yeah. Woo! Let's go. Yeah. Message in the bottom. Sorry. Sorry. We're really gonna be much pressure.
Are you and Blue ready?
We're ready, but I don't know if it's gonna work out. I think we might just.
You might want to. I give you my word that I will stay on mute. I swear to God, I will stay on mute. I promise. No, I swear.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's try it in the space after I drop down to listener. If that doesn't work out, then
we're gonna call you a Girl Scout. And that's never gonna happen because you're a fucking batty ass Tim. Oh yeah. No, I swear to God, I'm gonna mute. But I think they want to hear from Square Bear before she has to go because she has a space and it's 5:22. So let's build it up. Let's build it up. Sorry. But I do promise, I swear to God, you do have my word on my own soul that when you're ready to go and just whatever, I will mute up and I will not open my mic, I promise.
Okay, I'm dropping back down to listener, so
I'm staying on mute.
And then
I promise. Let's go. People space.
All right, Timmy, just give us like a couple thumbs up when you're ready.
I don't know if Timmy heard you because he was.
Oh yeah. Down. Okay, thumbs up. There we go. All right, I'll go first. Wah 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 wah. Fuck 'em up. Wah 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 wah. Fuck 'em up.
Wah 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 wah. Fluid fuck 'em up. Wah 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 wah. Fluid fuck 'em up.
Period. Nailed it. That is so much fun. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yo, so this morning, the universe gifted me with something so cool, and right on like the middle of my floor, was a molted spider. So it was like in perfect fucking condition. I put it in a little, I have these little boxes. Go ahead, Batty.
Okay, good. I think that'll be perfect. Edited, clear, no one interrupted.
Yes, thank you, Skittles. I love you.
Oh my God, you guys don't think I could do it.
We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
Every time you say something about the cobwebs and the fucking twat, it's not I'm trying to order Pizza Hut.
Bitches' bones made of stuffed crust. That's why they soft. That's why they cheesy. That's why they sleazy.
That's right, Jojo. And that's why I should be worried about those kids in the home. Oh shit.
Okay, you guys gotta tell me. You guys can hear us. I can't see everybody. This is Lemonade. Jenny, Batty Tim, Young Bat. We just got Jenny that came up and she's cool as fuck. We got Jessica.
Hello, beautiful.
Nice to meet you too. Hi, it's Liddy. Hi, Skittles. Hi,
Jenny, I know you, girl. I was talking to you, Sean.
You're your bonus. I'll give you to my 5,000%, all right? Go ahead, guys. Carry on. You know that Mike is
Hey, no, I was just coming up because I was Betty, because I listened in and I was like, oh my goodness, there's more anonymous listeners lot of older speakers. So I'm like emails, kind of person. So I was like, let me just dump in here because, give them a little bit to wonder about. Like, who's this new girl? What are you gonna say? Really, I was just like, I was like,
Hey, no, we know you don't need bathroom, girl. We are the real bitches that come to your house, kitty cats, stuff in the basement. Fuck you. Don't look in the windows and stuff. Yeah.
Julia, thank you.
Flax is gone 3 nights ago while you're sitting there, dummy. That is really sick. Really crazy stuff. If you think I'm not going to be yelling or raising my voice. We're the crazy ass bitches, though. I think I've conducted myself very maturely, considering. But I mean, she's the one who went into a space and wept last night because she's the victim here. Not my kid, not my 6-year-old kid, or me, or Hitman's kid. Actual best friend. She fucking caused division in a space. She made the entire space attack each other. Okay, it wasn't just me being in a space. It was calculated effort to fucking make people go against each other and what they truly believe in order to fucking strike divide and division, which is really fucking sick. And that's a crazy ass bitch, not us. Yeah, the scoring points for Kumar, I mean, it's not just her. There are other people who have taken a mic and said, well, how come you're doing this, but you're not doing that? And like just asking these random questions that have nothing to do with what actually happened. I mean, sit in this space if you want to, but you can't also have an association with me as long as there are open threats on me and my child and other children of pedophilic nature. It's not okay. It's never been okay in normal society to unapologetically hang out with pedophiles and not have people feel a certain way about it. I'm sorry for taking a tone or being sharp or loud, but I mean, this has been ongoing. And to hear people make excuses and try to make themselves the victim because people are standing up for themselves and pointing out the hypocrisy, everything done in these spaces is public. She opens that space and she runs it. And great, I took value for it. This is why I'm so upset about it. I mean, if I wasn't upset, I wouldn't be here saying stuff. So I'm sorry if she thinks I'm being mean. And if you think that that's my entire character, then I guess it is what it is. Jenny, anybody that can't see that, you know, and have the self-awareness to see like, oh, this person is has an emotional charge towards this because it's involving the threat, disgusting, you know, descriptive threats of a minor, then maybe they don't have as much emotional intelligence as they think they do. You said it. Yeah, I mean, if you're claiming to run empathy network and you're not having enough emotional intelligence or space for other beings, and their emotional intelligence is not empathy. You know, I'll never mention that again. now that it's been laid out there and she's asked nicely, I would never mention that again. But I mean, as far as people's characters and what they do on here, you know, like who they're apologizing and running cover for, I'll speak on that whenever I want to. But you know, you're right. I've said enough about the hypocrisy of you running something surrounding empathy when you can't even grasp the basics of common sense. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like the higher power calling to a fucking pedophile is what fucking provokes me. Makes me so fucking sick to my core. Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm so glad I didn't even listen to the back end of that. I was somewhere else having fun listening. Because it was sickening and painful to even have to sit and listen to and then sit there and have me queen fucking attack her only best friend Rose and go against her own fucking better judgment and best friend Rose and she was none of it bad for Jenny until we heard Rose speak and I came up and I validated Rose and they called us fucking police. They called us this, that. It was really bad.
It wasn't my
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Well, and if any one of my friends can said what Jenny said, unapologetic, there would be no question.
Dude, literally.
Do you want to use the word friend, loosely or not? That is equally love. So I understand.
No, she was claiming Jenny's never been her friend. She's never been a friend to Jenny.
Exactly.
Well, that's fine. One of the only people who show up to her.
Other thing.
I did feel like I was unacquainted. Exactly. And we could all see that. And it doesn't take a friend to fucking state the obvious, right?
I will say that as soon as the clip
You're coming from a higher power. I can't stand to be in the space with all of you people attacking my higher power, bitch. What? She literally fucking read lines off her fucking fake ass fucking acting script. It was so sick. And she literally caused me to attack her own best friend Rose over that fake cry. See, I just wanted to keep it nice and clean. I don't want an association with people who still take a mic in there and are unapologetic about going in there. That was kind of like a shot across the bow. The people who proceeded to continue going in there and playing ignorant, yeah, that was when I started to get really fucking aggravated about it. Because then they try to talk to me in spaces. It's like, why?
and from Jenny, it's not like you started that she came into the space. It was like, I have a topic I want to talk about. Is it okay to go in spaces? She had this whole narrative, but it was about you. But
Yeah, so that way that she shifted on every single one of us for even, pushing back on her narrative, she tried to make it seem like, oh, I wasn't the one that brought up the topic. No, you did, because everybody knew what you were talking about. Yeah, and I'll say it one more time, one last time. Sit wherever you would like. I mean, I will, you do. But I am not going to associate with whoever is sitting in that man's room because I have threats out in my family. The law is involved. I'm not going to tell people to do, but when you're sitting with somebody who's being looked at by the law, I mean, just do whatever you want to do. But I have the right to not associate with you, and I said it very nicely from the beginning, and I've been challenged on it all along, and this is why I'm ramping up time and again, and I don't want to hear anything from this point. I think what I asked was pretty simple. Just stay away from me if you're going to be around him.
like I said, I was trying to get her. Yes. I was trying to not be hard to her about it, but as soon as those clips were posted, that's when she was like, all right, get out of here.
She said she didn't want to hear it. That's what she did.
He did say that right before.
That,
Like right before, so.
I mean, it's terribly triggering recordings. They're very triggering recordings. But why would you sit and center yourself around somebody who actually spoke the words that are so triggering?
That she didn't want to hear it in the sense of like that will harm me, that will hurt me, that will trigger me. She said it in the sense like, well, if she didn't hear it already, she doesn't care. That was the way that she stated that.
It's a safe place to be. Ignorance is a safe place to remain on a lot of things in this world, because once you proclaim the truth, then you have a personal responsibility to carry that forward and be consistent, and that is difficult for a lot of people. I get it.
She's also been in spaces to kind of know better and to know that he said so
I'm not pulling receipts of her being present for pedophilic language, but believe me, we've all sat for some sort of language, either because he hoisted himself on the space or because we were still finding our ways out of his spaces, right? There was a short period of time at the beginning of his language before, it got really nasty. The brothers and father, sister, fucker shit. But if there's an escalation, it continued for a year. Now it's threats. I mean, you have to be under a rock, not in spaces, to not have heard it.
When he first started the vaccinated individuals, that was already nasty enough. So anything beyond that, I mean, you can relate to almost any, invocation of pedophilia, whatever, any shit, right? Of sickness. Period. Tony, come back up.
and he is vaccinated.
Anyway, moving on. I said right at the beginning, I didn't even want to go into this stuff because I felt like everything that needed to be said. Right? I hate sounding like a broken record. My own brain is getting bored of saying the same things. But the ignorance is seemingly willful and intentional and calculated from some individuals. And I'm not going to name names. She's not the only one. There are several people on these spaces who are running interference for this man, making excuses, asking weird questions.
You're not wrong, because it almost seems like she's using it as a storyline to kind of have some drama, because she's never had drama before on here. And it's almost like she wants it, right? She's begging for it, going from space to space, sitting down at the listeners, or going up and requesting a mic just to veiled, speak about it, right, in a vague manner, which is not really vague at all, because everyone knows what she's touching on. So it's really sick. Jump in, Tone.
Yeah, Jenny and I in the past too, Square Bear was kind of our comfort zone area. We would fall back in our rooms together. We would kind of strategize in the DMs, hey, where's another space that we could go to that where it's not causing fucking panic attacks and anxiety, listening to disgusting shit being said. Sometimes, guys, we're not it's not funny to us, I have days where I don't want to be in a space that's drama and disgusting fuckery, debauchery, to say the least, being spoken and said and things like that. Just natures and behaviors. We don't, it's not always my fucking MO. I'm not always in that fucking gear. Some days I just want to sit back and be in a calm space. And I remember Jenny and I used to strategize, yo, is there a space going on right now where there's no fuckery, no debauchery, just a calm conversation that we can join and be a part of and just kind of listen. And Square Bear was one of those places that we could both fall back on. And you know what I mean? The Empathy Network spaces. And it was, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a perfect getaway from all the spaces.
It still is. I will say that she's a bright, personal lady. She runs a great show. She runs the Ellen bit at the end, which is invaluable. And I mean, the birds are adorable. I've loved her spaces.
Why, Jenny?
This all breaks my heart. Period.
Exactly. That's why I understand why Jenny's focusing so much on Square Bear, because she has every right to. Because Square Bear was the last person we would have expected to, let me not say play dumb, but
say that she doesn't
exactly, complicit.
That is really
Complicit is the word. Yeah, being complicit in what's being said by other people that is wrong. Not calling it out. I mean, that's like you're ignorant. You don't want to hear the recording, but you want to be in the guy's space who's saying this stuff. Like, make that make sense.
Right,
That's
right.
not
I would feel like I would hear an unequivocal statement that the children are precious. We've witnessed a lot of children being used as weapons. I started saying that a month and a half, 2 months ago. Like, please, can we stop using kids as weapons? And I mean, that was the approach I hoped that and most people have taken that approach. So I was just really baffled why it wasn't her. And I have to draw a line. I can't continue to interact and support somebody who doesn't support me. Of course.
Morning. Going to Rockdale?
Those recordings that I heard said it hit me. But in hindsight, like, and I've told you this a couple times now, I should have been done. But he said that should take you a year and a half. Whatever. I heard that live in this video. So, and I regret that. I sincerely. But it should have been done. Sometimes those people have to.
and going into her way to be offensive and on the defense, right? But no one's targeting her, no one's attacking her, no one's bullying her, right? It's not her, it's her notion. It's her argument, right? That's what we're breaking down.
That's the
what
only
we're-
thing.
right.
That is it. Well said. Very well said. And then she just, I just promoted her space and just plugged her space again because I don't have a problem with her as an individual. I have a problem with like, I just can't have that association, and it should be as simple as that. But this is where we are now, and I feel bad about the things that have been said. But I mean, the worst has been said to me and my child and other people and their children.
I do think
It's really hard to listen to. I can only listen to it for a time. It was tough.
So what did I miss? Was she just like,
Yeah, it was exactly.
She did just say
Because our opinions are different.
Because we value protecting children above all.
So look when the flip side happens. If somebody says something about her kids to her in a space, and we're hosting spaces, and that same somebody comes into our rooms, we allow them to speak and let them come up and hang out with us. Let's see how she feels about that.
I mean,
if
for
it happens
Christ's
to her,
sake,
or vice versa.
Susan's her fucking friend, and she got offended, and that's your point.
To be fair, she apologized. And I also apologized because I love her. She does have cute
She got
hearts.
so offended about you saying fucking her, right? But can't understand how Jenny could be offended by someone that's supporting somebody that threatens rape against your fucking child. Like, it's not rocket science.
yeah, well, he was 6 when he was threatened. He's 7 now. So, I mean, we're not talking about like a teenager, we're not like an adult child. We're talking about a small child.
So I was not gonna play devil's advocate and say not only that, but I don't remember what people were saying. Like he was so mad and out of his element that he was trying to say the worst thing imaginable possible to push you away, to get to you. Because in a way you kind of got to him. I don't know, man, I can't realize you got to, but I think you just have show intelligence level intimidated him in some way, from some angle. And he didn't like that, and that irked him. So that was his response, which was completely irrational response, but he was trying to explain to me one time how like he felt like he didn't know how else to conduct himself. Like that was the most irrational thing he could say possible to like push you away for good. Like he didn't want to keep coming back to you as a friend, so he wanted to say something once and for all to just push you away from good. That's what it was. At least that's how he explained it to me.
But it also kind of makes it seem like I've been wanting to be his friend, but I mean, it's been a bullying and threatening campaign against me for, I'm going to say almost 2 years. It'll be like 2 years in December. He's been doing this to me.
Yeah, let me be clear. You never followed him around. He used to always ask.
Right, it was as he missed the friend.
He was following you.
But I'm actually treated him like a friend, and that's what he missed. He didn't have to call me a friend, but I was treating him like a friend. And I mean, that's what it is. I wish it would. I'm afraid of what he can do. So I do. It's difficult.
Jenny's the other time we were fighting at the time. He's like, whenever Jenny was around, he sort of picked up his minutes. He was well behaved for the same years. You know, he used to talk like that. He was. He did conduct himself, but like, in a respectful manner, from an honest tone with me, you know, like, and again, so, but like, it's just, it's someone to care about, and was what it was. So great, and so, you know, I wouldn't be this upset about that if I didn't enjoy those places so much, and like, and my family enjoyed claims, and like, she and I have so many similarities, so like, at the end of it, it isn't just about the people she's associated with, it's like the loss that I'm getting out of this, getting out of that place that I enjoyed to go, and I did stay for my own reasons, and so again, you know, shy anyone away from her space, it's just, it's all for me now. Can I ask you a question, Jenny? This is I think to Jenny, as the prime example, let's say something like, let's say something like your son's face on Wednesday night, would that be that would be a big thing, because it's not a secret, because you got your son's face, like, and it would be, if there was a threat connected to you, which he's too smart to do that, but I would know those, the way he said that threat, the way he said it, the way he went down, what he said to other people's sons, and what other threat, you know, like, I think that that's just an opposite of that was like congratulation with the names. I don't want to sound like the fucking stupid behavior making solutions, but I don't think the guys are threat. But I think these words are about something like that. But I don't think it's a reasonable, but I don't think it's a threat that I would love box. I don't think it's a physical threat to like anybody in the county. Everybody is a fucking threat, but people who know that his real life actually fucking threat. You don't think like that, you don't act like that, and like you are some type of threat. Like, he has a violent thing. Absolutely not violent. Absolutely not. Not done. Yeah, it doesn't count. Fixated at if you do not train me, not or plan. Yeah, I got a question. Let's ask that Greek guy that was threatening him with the AR-15 and the 9mm pistol that he was pointing at the camera. There's a guy that's looking for him, says he knows where he's at. Let's ask that guy where he's at. Since he knows.
That's terrible. I saw that. I don't get
yeah, he's smart.
He needs to hide away. He can stay any day, any time.
What's his video? It's like smart.
So bad that was last month. The children that are being born in the potentiality behind them, right? We can't, we don't know. Predators definitely always an escalation. It doesn't just start out unless they have some type of trait, psychotic trait, right? Predators are built over time. They start out with small things. That's why a lot of things with childbirth animals are as a repetition of that. They get put on a government fucking watch list because that is like fun. These people don't just start off acting like that. These predators, it's all
Guys, I'm gonna start a space. I'm starting my space. I'm gonna start my space. Yo, I'm starting up my space in 5 minutes. See you guys later.
Just kidding. Ain't nobody coming unless we invite them. Ain't nobody coming unless we say something.
And I'm like, that I'm like, don't you dare put shit in my jumbotron. I don't even know who the fuck let you up. Fuck, get the fuck out. Because you're a fucking cock stamp. You disgust me. You make me limp dick, bitch.
Get on your fucking knees.
She don't even
Wait, what?
I'm not being nice daddy tuner that goes to the stage and talks about I just you fucking nasty fucking freak.
Oh, wait, you didn't even speed it up. You didn't even speed it up for you?
Not you, not you.
You didn't even say it faster.
No, well, I
Ooh, okay, we got a stamp. Stop.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a Celsius. Just think remove me from the group chat.
I got you too, Flo. Oh, he's probably doing like another cleanse. Did he remove you, Flo?
It's because he is with the, you know, we talk about what's new. Not doing that. Speaking of Tony, I got Joey pepperoni nips on its way. Shout out to Pizza Hut. Sorry, I'm so retarded.
He removed me too, and he can take that group chat, stick it up his ass. Stuff anyway. Ain't not trying to
You're gonna make me feel
about the group chat.
If it makes you feel any better, I left the same day that he put me in it.
Nobody want to be in your shit anyways, nigga.
Hey, never, nothing that's going on in there. Put yourself by the ass, niggas. Fuck off. Fuck yourself, bitch.
My God. I say that. What?
I got news. Cardi B's
Weeks or months that lose their job.
League got seated since far.
Born in the U.S.
Because bar in the US, you're many honest.
Yeah, it's happened and it shouldn't fucking be happening.
There's a lot of like bar in the US from like immigrants' parents.
And this bullshit they were doing in DC, which was gross, man. Like, they just had like road fucking stops, and if you were brown, they pulled you over and took your fucking car down. They were looking for any fucking reason to arrest people. You're telling me we're on a slippery slope towards 1933. Like, I can feel it. I feel it in the air. Like, I've seen it in front of me. It's not normal. It's a police state. I fortunately have white fucking privilege. I don't have to worry about it a whole lot. But I do worry about work late nights, work restaurants, and do that kind of stuff. And they're all fucking afraid. They don't want to leave houses. You shouldn't be afraid to leave your fucking house. That's the part that bothers me.
Yeah, but that's up to you.
No, it's up to me to fucking
live in a country where I trust in the law of rule that it's fair and it lives up to the fucking Constitution. And right now we're not. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is supposed to be the foundational privileges of being here, and they're stripping that from a lot of people. That's all.
So don't you think that it was happening even before and the media were not reporting this? You think that under other president, no one was like getting like this treatment or nothing like this was happening? No people, no one was arrested. You think that this one was never happening before?
No, I mean, you know, they had, like during the Obama administration, right? And there were a lot of people that had problems with what he did too, but they did a crackdown on illegal immigrants. And it was kind of fucked up because they'd go raid like the, you know, turkey fucking factory in North Carolina and arrest all the people and not do anything to the companies. But I mean, they were much more above board about how they did it than how they're doing this, and the scale of this is insane.
Went from 3 billion to 47 billion.
It's crazy.
If that from a side, from someone that is an immigrant right here, I know a lot of like immigrants during the years, and I work a lot of immigrants and no paper legal jobs. And first time that I saw it stopping this was COVID. That was the first time that I saw this stopping. And I was working a really low wage job, legal, low wage. And I had like too much like competition from illegal people. And I'll be honest with you, I came right here to smoke weed. I didn't even fucking want to stay. Okay, I said, I want to go there smoking weed. And I end up like luckily on a journey that brought me to stay here. But I cannot tell you that it is fucked up. Because once you have the paper to work, if the competition is the same without paper, well, man, that's not fucking fair. And I didn't even ask for anything. It's not fair in any country. But it's not fair for the people in the country, and it's not fair for the people that they come from outside of these countries. Because this is the problem. And a lot of these people are being abused and utilized as fucking slaves. And now when they want, those are just nice people, then they need something. Why we're not giving them people immediately? You can't quit cold turkey, like, because there are good people who are being impacted by it. You know, why not forecast legislation that you're going to introduce, like, instead of just springing it on people, in one day, you know? I agree with you. I 100% agree with what you're saying, okay? Let's be correct on that. I never fucking disagree on that.